Hey guys, midweek energy update. We've got some intense energy to talk about coming through midweek this week, and I will tell you, if there is something that you have been needing to get to the bottom of, this is the time to do it. We have an exact Mercury-Pluto retrograde opposition that will be playing out on Wednesday, while we also have a Gemini moon that will be coming into a conjunction with Jupiter. There is an ability to gain some real truth about some things that have been perhaps hidden, obscured, maybe from the past, but in sort of like a deep and impenetrable way for maybe a long period of time. The lid is being lifted off things for sure in the energy of Wednesday. This is very like detective type of energy, penetrating insight, like a very powerful ability to figure things out with the Mercury, Pluto, Leo, Aquarius, also the Mercury in the sign of the sun, right? Shining light into the darkness, and Jupiter over there in Gemini, expanding our mind and our purview of understanding, with the moon coming through as well and activating that. We are being given an opportunity to get to the bottom of some things, to figure some things out, to see what's been going on behind the curtain, under the surface, and should be an interesting week, you guys. That being said, let's get into our report of the day. Let's talk about everything that we have coming together for us Wednesday into Thursday this week as we actually build into our new moon in Cancer that's going to be coming in on Friday. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're talking about the astrology that we have coming together for Wednesday, July 3rd through Thursday, July 4th. And if you guys stick with me till the end of the video, I have done a collective tarot reading for us today as well. I like to tap the energy field from more than one modality whenever I'm doing these energy overviews, just to get an alternative energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So that's going to be at the end. There could be some messages in there for you, so come with me if you want to, if you're into it. Let's get started with the astrology. We're in the last couple days right now of our Gemini new moon cycle. That, of course, began last month with our new moon in the sign of Gemini. The last 2 days, July 3rd, July 4th, is going to be the last day of our Gemini cycle, and the last 2 days that we are still in actually the full moon in Capricorn, number one energy. We're having 2 full moons in Capricorn this year. We had one as the midpoint of our new moon in Gemini cycle, and we're going to be having another one as the midpoint in our new moon in Cancer cycle, which is coming up on Friday. So we are closing out that full moon in Capricorn energy that we've been talking about that's been playing itself out over the course of this past couple of weeks. And we're about to, like, it seems like, for some reason, somehow, in some area of our life, of course, this will largely be dependent on where Mercury and Pluto are placed in your own natal chart right now, early degrees, first degree actually, of Leo and Aquarius. This is where the face-off is happening between Pluto and Mercury in their opposition, that is probably going to be bringing some type of revelation or insight into something that maybe we didn't know was going on, or a missing piece of the puzzle. I don't know, seeing under the surface of something, seeing behind the curtain, like I was talking about in my last video. Definitely all over the energy that we have coming through midweek this week. And I want to go back real quick to that theme of face-off that I was just talking about. I don't know, but I feel like there just could be something to do with that concept or expression of energy coming through as we move Wednesday, Thursday towards our new moon this week. Of course, we do have the face-off happening between Mercury, the mind, and Pluto, the lord of the underworld. But I also want to say we have an interesting symbol that is accompanying this energy on Wednesday for the position of the sun, who is ruling the position of Mercury, right? Because Mercury just moved into the sign of Leo, which is ruled by the sun. The sun is at 14 degrees of Cancer on Wednesday. That Sabian symbol is a very old man facing a vast dark space to the northeast. Which, what is Mercury doing in the sign of Leo right now, facing literally like Pluto, the lord of the underworld, like into the vast dark depth of the underworld, or the unknown, or the subconscious mind. So themes and oppositions a lot of times can bring like confrontations and two things sort of pitted up against one another. And we're also talking about, you know, Pluto, the Plutonic energy. So there could be some type of, you know, powerful encounters, interactions, confrontations, right, that are happening as this energy plays out. So themes of face-offs could be relevant somehow as we move through our week, midweek this week. But any way you slice it, the day is probably just gonna have some type of like air of intensity to it, especially just in the context of like how our mind is working. Like, people are definitely more inclined to be going off the deep end a little bit in terms of just the nature of their thoughts, the topics of conversations. Like, you could find people who generally would not find themselves focusing on, you know, more spiritual or occult or metaphysical or mysterious or, you know, kind of like the dark side of things, the underbelly of things, what has been hidden, what has been obscured. Like, people are going to be looking for truth. They're going to be like searching into the depths and into the darkness and into like the little nooks and crannies where we don't usually go, or where we generally try to avoid and stuff like that, to try to find like the nuggets of truth that may be hidden there. And it's coming through in both, I mean, it's really coming through, you know, in several different ways, because, you know, number one, we're talking about Mercury in the sign of Leo, right? That's ruled by the sun, which is the greatest source of light, like shining the light literally directly into the shadows, with Pluto, the underworld there, like lighting up the underworld. And that can also be indicating like things to do with the subconscious mind. We have a very strong ability in the energy this week, like any type of self-analysis, self-reflection. Like, we have an ability to bridge the conscious and the unconscious mind, like to consciously analyze in a very deep way, like the complexities and the depths of our own like thought patterns. And it's a very good energy, like, to reprogram your subconscious mind if you've been struggling to, you know, make some deep changes and stuff like that. This is a very good energy to, or this energy is very supportive of any real attempt that we make to get to the core, to get to the root of any issue that has been creating blockages for us or holding us back in some way. Remember, Pluto also has a lot to do with healing and regeneration, and it's a very powerful energy to help us purge and release. There's a lot going on right now that is talking about the ending of things, the release of things, like the final purge of certain situations. We've been in a lot of water energy with Saturn and now Mercury, or now Neptune retrograde, where, you know, I've been using this metaphor. It's like the tide has been in. There's been a lot of, you know, a lot being swept up, a lot of feelings, a lot of this water energy that's coming through. And now with these retrograding planets in the sign of Pisces, like a lot is about to be drawn out, okay? And we're going to see what's remaining. We're going to discover what's been like really going on under the surface, while perhaps maybe we were distracted with something else, or looking at things in a certain way that prohibited us from seeing maybe the truth about a certain situation. Various areas of our lives and situations, be it our personal lives or, you know, more of the collective narrative that maybe we've been buying into, or we've been basing our view of reality off of. Things that are illusionary, things that have no real true grounding in reality and have been more of a projection or a narrative or a story. A lot of that is going to be breaking down, is going to be falling away, and as a result, we're really going to have to start making some different choices and decisions in the way that we're thinking about things, and also the way that we are using our own minds, using our own skills and experience, using our own resources going forward, which we know, right? Because we're heading into an Aquarian Pluto generation. This will be a generation of self-actualization, and we're really going to kind of like rediscover ourselves, our potential, and our purpose as we move through the Pluto's transit through Aquarius that is upcoming right now. Pluto's retrograde. He's going to go back into Capricorn for one final time, but especially as we move through the rest of this year and into 2025, like, we are really going to start rooting this Aquarian energy that is only going to grow from here on out, and I mean, like, for the next couple of thousand years as we move into the age of Aquarius. So we're really in a very powerfully transformative time right now. I mean, Mercury's also in the sign of Leo. Like, this also rules the ego. We could really be going through, you know, Mercury in Leo, across from Pluto and Aquarius. Like there could be some type of ego death that is going on somehow in the energy for some people this week as well, but it's likely to just give some very intense experiences. And Leo, right, this is also the sign of like the rich and famous, fame, money, power, prestige, rulership class, right? Very anything in Pluto retrograde, like exposing corruption. With the moon and Jupiter and Gemini as well, like there could be some big headlines or news stories, or just kind of like a big story, big information on a more like world stage type, or even just in our local experiences of individuals along the Leo lines, okay, like being exposed for some type of corruption. Big news about celebrities, rulers, people of power, people in power or notoriety somehow being exposed. Big questions coming up as a result. We could see stuff like that for sure. On a personal level though, I do feel like this is very much centered around and giving us a really like nice opportunity to get to know ourselves better on these more deeper levels. Great day, as I mentioned earlier, for introspection, getting to the root maybe of some of our own issues that we have going on. We can consciously reflect on that which is normally hidden within like the depths of our subconscious mind. So very good opportunity for figuring things out on all levels. Mercury in the sign of Leo, shining light into the depths, helping us to perceive in the sign of Aquarius, right? Just as I was mentioning, our own individual power, our purpose, our potential that has been hidden. Maybe that's been latent, maybe that's been shrouded in a lot of drama and trauma and, you know, hiding from ourselves even, and, you know, feeling like we couldn't do it or feeling like it was too late. This is also with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini, I do want to say, a time of opportunities renewed, like the lost opportunities regained coming through over this next several months as Jupiter is transiting the sign of Gemini as well. So no fear, you guys. At the end of the day, like we need to, and with Saturn and Neptune both retrograde in the sign of Pisces, our test right now is to maintain our faith when it feels like everything is falling apart, to maintain our vision, to maintain our faith, to maintain our work ethic and our motivation and our will to succeed and move forward, even if it literally feels like the ground underneath our feet is like disintegrating with every step. It may be, but that doesn't mean that there is not a new ground right underneath that is about to, you know, emerge to the surface and carry you right on your way. We absolutely cannot lose faith in our vision of success, of personal improvement, of fulfilling like our divine mission, you know what I mean, that a lot of people are going to be awakening to as we move through this period of time as well. This is detective energy, like big time, as I mentioned earlier. Great day to shine some type of, or gain some type of light of awareness in terms of something that has been obscured, that has been hidden, that we have not been maybe viewing clearly. With Saturn and Neptune both retrograde in Pisces, this is the season of the great reveal, okay? Like, Pisces is a sign that in one of its octaves indicates an ability to deceive, to cast an illusion, to shroud, to project fantasy, the dream, the slumber, the spell. With Saturn retrograde, Saturn's karma, okay, Saturn's consequences, Saturn's a responsibility, like there will be consequences for deceit, for dishonesty. They may not be immediate, okay, but this is a breakdown in illusions of control, in authority that has projected any type of false image, false narrative, false even like document, or any type of like fraud or anything like that could very, very readily and easily be exposed here. Powerful revelations all over the chart for Wednesday. There's no other way to slice it or dice it. With Mercury at 2 degrees, well, 1 degree, I'm talking about the Sabian symbol 2 degrees, which I will mention in a minute, but very first degree of the sign of Leo, Also the sun at that degree in the sign of Cancer, the very old man facing the vast dark space to the northeast. Like, we are peering into the darkness, but what is it that we're discovering there, and how is it transforming us? How is it transforming our mind, and how big of a deal is it in terms of like coloring the nature of the conversation that's going on right now? Also, what opportunities is it leading to? Because that is another side of this. Another thing that I want to mention, we've got very interesting, like, contradictory energy playing out right now. On one hand, we have a Mars-Uranus conjunction that is building, that is indicating like all the tension, okay, like rising tension, all the tension, like some type of climactic event we're building to in the middle of July. But we also have this like really fortunate and like kind of blessed little activity going on featuring Jupiter, who is the great benefic, that is kind of happening simultaneously. Jupiter's actually going to be coming into a once in 12-year alignment with the fixed star Aldebaran, which is like the Archangel Michael degree in the sky, this week, moving through this week and into the second week of July. And that brings like good luck, good fortune, like the divine sword of the righteous, you know what I mean? So there's a very positive, helpful, blessed, fortunate, like shield of God type of vibe that is also coming through. A very, very protective force that is universally blanketing sort of the hearts of the righteous, you know what I mean? And those who are doing the right thing, even if they know that they could receive some type of like backlash or persecution or stuff like that. We've got a very protective force that is coming through right now in an expansive, blessed, fortunate way. So something to keep in mind if a lot of things seem to be sort of like hitting the fan as we move through this next couple of weeks. There is a very like divinely aligned, divinely timed, protective force that is coming through the Jupiterian influence in alignment with the fixed star Aldebaran right now as well. So, and I'll probably be talking about that more as we move through this period of time also, but it was just on my mind. So I wanted to mention it in the context of this information that is coming into play right now. But, you know, with Mercury and Pluto together, Pluto retrograde, that is like the internalized, like that is giving us the power to see within, to see to the core, to see to the root. The retrograde motion also, this is things from the past, okay? Things that have gone on. This is also the corruption to do with, you know, the powerful, the rich, the famous, like all that type of stuff could be prominent. There could be some really like juicy headlines and stuff going on right now, of things that people have been involved in that is being exposed. Lots of chatter also. I mean, with the Mercury or the Jupiter moon conjunction in the sign of Gemini, while this is playing out, that is the truth. That is big information that is actually real, actually true, wrapped up in whatever we're discovering, whatever we're figuring out. Big news, lots of chatter, information, movement, enhancing whatever is happening, with the intensity of the penetrating insight coming through with the opposition or the face-off between the messenger planet and the lord of the underworld. There could literally be some like clashes of like journalists, or even like you, like people like speaking the truth about something or asking questions about something to a very like powerful or abominable like individual or opponent or authority figure, powerful person, something like that. I don't know. Interesting, okay? And I do want to talk about the symbolism for just a moment as well, because 2 degrees of Aquarius, that Sabian symbol is an unexpected thunderstorm. And then 2 degrees of Leo, where Mercury is right now, that Sabian symbol is an epidemic of mumps. So there could be concerns or fears that are being voiced in this context somehow as well, something unexpected and maybe something that is spreading rapidly. I don't know, big news, big information, intense information, digging for truth, exposing the root of things, powerful meetings going on, people coming face to face, having these contests or these contests or these confrontations, or just these very deep penetrating discussions. And remember, with the Neptune retrograde, with the Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces. This is illusions of reality breaking down, like I was talking about earlier, old control systems and authority systems, belief systems breaking down right now as well. Neptune and Saturn, both retrograde in the sign of Pisces, is going to expose the lies and the falsehoods as energy dissolves the foundations and the projections that may have supported them in the past. And I'm talking about long periods of time that certain things may have been going on, or certain belief systems may have been maintained, kind of just beginning to see cracks in the facades right now. This should be very interesting. And aside from all the emphasis that we do have going on the Mercury, Jupiter, Pluto energy, because that really is, like, I feel like the main vibe that we're probably dealing with on Wednesday, Venus is also an exact trine to Saturn retrograde in water signs. Venus in Cancer is an exact trine to Saturn in Pisces. Normally, this would be like a very stabilizing aspect, stabilizing force that would be really good for like establishing businesses and like long-term financial success, like enduring like enterprise or relationship connections, commitments, and stuff like that. But right now, because Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and this is happening in water signs, and it is a trine, I feel like this energy is actually really supporting the washing away of things, the purge, the release, letting go, moving on. Old karmic relationships could be coming up in the context of this energy with Saturn being retrograde, and also us going through a process of like maturation right now and gaining actually a greater sense of what we value, what we find worthy of our time, of our attention, what we're even attracted to, and what we want to continue to hold on to, and what we are ready to release and let go of, as we feel ourselves also going through this process of like a personal metamorphosis right now, and releasing a lot of the old self-perceptions that we may have held and harbored within us, and also the relationship components and dynamics of our lives that were a reflection of that. Remember, we're talking about Venus in a trine to Saturn retrograde, but we also right now have the South Node transiting the sign of Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. South Node is karma. Saturn's also karma. This is like karmic endings that could be coming through in the context of financial situations, relationships, partnerships that may have been things we've been committed to or involved with for a very long period of time. The things that it's almost like, and this message came up in the tarot actually, and talking about this right now is actually making me think of the tarot reading that I'm gonna do for you guys after we got done with this. But it is sort of like the gardens maybe that we've been tending, or what we've been putting time and energy into, or what we've been investing in or committed to for a while. There could be some about faces going on. There could be some reevaluations. There could be some changes of plans happening. There could be some like divesting in things, sort of pulling out somehow, taking responsibility, you know, refining our values, reconsidering what we want to build, what we want to create, what we want to continue to put our energy into. And it could have to do with some of the things that we're discovering or finding out in the energy right now. Another thing about this week, I talked about it in my last video, we're also in one of the 2 weeks of the year that is featuring a Sun North-South node square that is going on. The Sun in Cancer is squaring the nodes of the Moon this week, which also puts us at a crossroads, a turning point. And we're in, as I said to start this report, we right now are exiting the last 2 days of this full moon in Capricorn energy that was the midpoint of our Gemini cycle, which to me was indicating that very same theme, being at a crossroads, being at a turning point, the end of something, like trying with all its might to hold on, while simultaneously we know that we have to, that something new is emerging within us, or that we've got to step forward in a new direction, that we've got to change, that we've got to do things different, that we can no longer continue to live the way that we used to, when we know that we are not the person anymore that we used to be. So even though we have a Gemini moon going on, you know, Wednesday and Thursday this week, I do feel like it's probably going to be giving deeper, more serious vibes. Gemini moon energy is usually kind of like light and flighty and happy-go-lucky, very inquisitive and energized and stuff like that. But when we've got this very intense Plutonic energy going on, and also the, you know, Saturnian retrograde, the Venus trine, that all of this, I just feel like we're going to be taking things more seriously. We're going to be thinking about things more seriously. We are going to be viewing things like just in terms of more of their depth and complexity, and as a result, it's probably not going to be like the most light, happy-go-lucky vibes, but it's a very purposeful energy, and it's probably going to be quite transformative, and again, like have some type of powerful or regenerative impact on either the changes that we're going through now and who we're in the process of becoming, metamorphosizing into. Remember, Pluto, this is also like the Phoenix energy. It's death and rebirth, and this square with the nodes of the moon, that is also kind of like the end of something, the transition point and the beginning of something else. So if you find yourself in a place this week where you just feel like you've come to the end of something and you are about to start going in a whole new direction and dealing sort of with some of the feelings that come up as a result of that, maybe you're finding some things out that make it impossible for you to keep going in the direction that you were going, and you got to do or start something brand new as a result. And it's like just this weird mishmash of like endings and maybe not feeling ready to let go, but also knowing that you've got no other choice at this point. I feel like that's just the nature of how universe wants us to experience life as we move through this particular period of time. Now, let's talk about Thursday for a minute, the last day of our Gemini cycle before we start the new moon in Cancer on Friday. The moon will be transiting the sign of Gemini and coming into a square with Neptune, of course, at 29 degrees of Gemini or a Pisces, last degree retrograde, questioning everything. So it's an interesting transition from Wednesday into Thursday, because Wednesday, you know, as I've said, we've got this very strong like Mercury, Pluto, Jupiter energy. Like we are figuring some things out, seeing the truth, gaining some deeper insight, all that type of thing. But then on Thursday, with the moon in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces retrograde at 29 degrees, this is questioning everything. Okay, like whatever we figured out yesterday, like this could honestly be in the energy of Thursday, kind of like messing with our head somehow, cognitive dissonance, avoidance, and unwillingness to face the truth about something, more questions than answers, perhaps confusion, hard to tell what's real and what's not, depression, feeling detached from reality itself, nothing making sense, like literally questioning everything. Okay, maybe also some type of inner knowing that something has come to an end, but not wanting to, or like an unwillingness to mentally accept that is causing some kind of like inner conflict, inner strife going on with the moon squaring Neptune. We could feel a little bit, you know, caught in just some type of like a funk. This could also be like brain fog. We could just feel like zoned out. Okay, if you're not thinking super clearly, if you feel like this could also honestly be manifesting as just like needing to like step back and process everything that you just figured out. This could also be indicating just like a imperative need to process some information from a more withdrawn place, or maybe honestly like sleep on it before making a choice or decision. That's also indicated in this energy of Thursday. The past, though, I will tell you, like, as we move through the final day of this Gemini cycle, the past is no longer going to have power over the future. Like going forward, I do think from our new moon in Cancer moving forward, there is going to be a weighted shift in terms of maybe the past and the way we had previously defined ourselves being the side that we were more likely to fall to in terms of, you know, if there was something that we were questioning, you know, wondering whether we should go this way or that way. Like, I feel like there was a more of an energetic weight on where we've been and who we've been and what's defined us. But I do feel like as we move through this cardinal Cancer cycle that is coming on Friday, July 5th, I do think a lot is about to change. We are in the process right now, right, of birthing a new paradigm. We are going through the transition of ages, and that actually means, from like a universal perspective, at least in terms of the way that I'm perceiving it, the way the astrology is coming together right now, universe is really using humanity moving into the age of Aquarius to anchor these new incoming frequencies on the planet. And how that is happening is through our personal process of upgrading ourselves, evolving ourselves, going on this path to self-actualization, discovering our purpose, discovering our true potential, coming into a greater union and alignment with our higher self, with the divine image and purpose of our presence in this lifetime, allowing the divine presence to really work within and through us in our pursuit of arriving at this like authentic truth that is compelling the future direction of our lives. Okay, like that is the mission right now, really, that everybody, especially if you are awake at this point, if you are like heeding the call, if you are seeing what's going on, if you are, you know, in resonance with the early phases of this transition of age process, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is a time where we really do want to surrender the past, let go of who we used to be. This is it. The Plutonic energy is real, okay? Like the past no longer defines you. We are being given, Jupiter in the sign of Gemini, some really profound opportunities to go through a phase of like personal renewal in alignment with personal upgrade right now. So leave the past in the past. Whatever's happened up until this point no longer needs to define what's going to happen going forward. I do think that we have reached the turning point with this new moon in Cancer where the past is no longer going to like hold the weight in terms of what it is that comes to pass going forward. So there's no purpose, okay, in remaining attached to things and beliefs and people and concepts in association with a bygone era as we move forward into this new energy that is beckoning us to truly become all that we can be, and is promising, if we pursue that, a life that is then reflecting back to us that which will really be supportive and fulfilling of what our heart really needs and what really makes like our soul fulfilled and stuff like that, because we're living in alignment with our soul's true expression. Therefore, we're truly like drinking from the cup of soul fulfillment, and that is the ultimate goal of this energy, okay? And that state right there, that is the frequency that we are coming to anchor right now, that will represent the trajectory essentially of things going forward. So if you want to play your role out there, that is how it's done. And that's what I'm going to say about the astrology. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute. I mentioned the tarot reading earlier. I feel like it's really referencing what I was saying about the Venus-Saturn retrograde trine happening in these water signs right now. Look at the cards that we had coming out, you guys. First of all, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Seven of Pentacles in reverse over the Six of Cups. This to me is talking about perhaps coming to a point where we are kind of maybe needing to change direction in something, maybe something that we've been attached to, or a person or a community or a sentiment or a belief or a nostalgia or a memory or just a way of being and doing and feeling that has defined us for a long period of time and that has contributed to the things that we've been building in our lives. Maybe we're reaching a period of time where we're realizing like maybe we kind of need to like jump ship on that and go in a whole new direction. And I feel like, again, it has something to do with what we are uncovering, what we are discovering, what we are getting to the bottom of, what we're figuring out, what we're learning with this Mercury Pluto opposition that we have going on. We had the Seven of Swords in reverse, followed by the literal sun, okay? And then the Ace of Cups. The Seven of Swords, this is a card notoriously known to be about like deception and falsehoods and lying and illusion and stealing power, trying to get away with things, okay? With it in reverse, we're figuring something out. We're seeing behind the curtain. We are preventing ourselves from being manipulated or deceived somehow. And why? It's because the sun is coming out, the light of clarity, some ray of light being shown into perhaps the darkness in such a way that is uncovering secrets, or that is showing us where maybe we've been giving power away, maybe we've been being taken advantage of, maybe we've been being played with somehow, maybe we haven't had all the facts or information that we needed, and maybe as a result of what we're figuring out, what is finding the light of day right now, maybe that's changing exactly what it is that we want to continue to put our time, energy, and efforts into. Maybe that thing that we thought we were building, that ideal that we thought we were moving towards, like maybe that is not the ideal anymore. Maybe we're actually reconsidering what it is that we want to value, what it is that we want to build, what it is that we truly value, what it is that we find worthy. Maybe we are coming to a point where we want to perhaps divest our time or energy or resources ourselves in something somehow, and maybe it's because of what we're finding out, what we're learning, what we're figuring out, what we're seeing under the hood, and what it is doing to kind of show us what we actually truly do want. I feel like this is bringing up themes of maybe discovering things that we've been, you know, aligning ourselves with for quite a while, perhaps realizing we don't want to go in that direction anymore. But the flip side of that is we're also recentering around what it is that we do truly want, what it is that we do feel like would be fulfilling to us on the soul level, what we do want to create, what we do want to feel, what we do want to nurture, what we do want to grow, this Ace of Cups energy. Okay, so we've got the upside down pentacles over the Six of Cups, like something from the past that maybe used to give us what we needed somehow, used to fill our cup, used to be what we felt, so like what made us feel whole or whatever. Maybe we're realizing that we were confused somehow, or we were misunderstanding something, or maybe we're just realizing that we've come to the end, and if we continue to hold on, that is going to be stealing our power. Like, that is going to keep us off the track, that is going to be blocking our light. But it seems like there is something about some type of awareness or life force energy or vitality or inspiration that is coming through, that is showing us something that has been off somehow, that is causing, you know, maybe us to want to abandon something, leave something, stop putting time and energy and effort into something, because we're discovering what it is that we do want to grow, what it is that we do want to nurture, what we do truly want to create, and what will be more fulfilling for us on those deeper soul levels going forward. So that is what I have to say, you guys, about the tarot. Now, I do want to tell you, I actually already recorded this whole part, and then my tablet like said that the memory was full and rejected the video. So what I just got done saying, that's me re-recording, and I actually already got the synchronicity card before my tablet shut off and I lost it. So I'm not going to do another shuffle, but I want to tell you guys the synchronicity card that did come out of the deck when I was doing this previously, before I lost it all. And the synchronicity message, it says, ask and ye shall receive, which I was saying just as my my tablet cut off last time. This is really giving those Jupiter and Gemini vibes. Jupiter will be in Gemini until next June. From now until then, this is really a very prominent energy that is in support of our pursuits. Ask and ye shall receive. Asking questions, we are likely to get favorable outcomes, okay? And that's exactly the advice that this energy is giving. And in the context of the moon coming into the conjunction with Jupiter and Gemini on Wednesday, and Mercury across from Pluto, if you ask for some answers about something, maybe that is what you will receive, okay? It says, and all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive, Matthew 21:22. This is the truth. All good is unfolding for you right now, and it will become a visible manifestation in your life very soon. So everything is on the right track, you guys. As I said, we need to let some things go. This is sort of like a collective purge of old energy that has been held over for a very, very, very long time, that has come to the end of its rule and its like hold over the domain of planet Earth. Okay, so there is gonna be like a kind of like a big flush going on over the rest of the summer, I feel like. And again, a lot of breakdowns in authority, control systems, illusions, narratives that have been sort of like the pillars of our faith in reality up until this period of time. Hyper novelty is where we're going, but we are heading in the right direction, and we've got a very, very powerful aptitude to figure some things out as we move through the energy this week and into our new moon that's coming tomorrow. So that's what I have to say, you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would also like this type of content, want to narrate the shift of the ages with us, leave me comments, you guys. I'm so grateful for all of you. You know how much I appreciate you. I really value your presence. If you are having experiences that reflect what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. I post these whiteboards in a Facebook group that I have that is linked in my comment section below. And come back with me on Friday, you guys. We're gonna have a new moon in Cancer to talk about cardinal new moon cycle, turning point energy. Things are about to start happening and I'll be here for it. So you should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time. Everybody have a really beautiful midweek, and until then, bye guys.